Hi everybody, welcome to Katie in the Morning. I'm Katie Page, Director of Member Relations at the National Association of Healthcare Assistants and a 15-year CNA. First of all, good morning or good night to all you overnighters who worked last night. I hope all you day shifters are having a wonderful day, and to the evening shift people out there, I hope you have a spectacular shift as well. There is one thing that is prominently a problem in our field right now, and I feel like it needs to be addressed. CNAs outnumber any other person in the facilities and long-term care facilities right now, either 5 to 1, 3 to 1. Either way, our ratio far outweighs anybody else in that building. But abuse and neglect are two very, very big issues in the United States right now. Every day, hundreds of cases go unreported. And my question for you guys is why? I'm a little dramatic on Wednesdays, so you guys might feel like you're in a bit of a hot seat today. But I really feel like this is something that I personally need to get off my chest. The other day I was looking over the internet and searching for different topics to talk about on Katie in the Morning, and I came across this video of a news report from Headline News. And it really struck a chord with me, not just because of the abuse and neglect in the video, but because there was other people present, and this went on for who knows how long unreported. This resident had to suffer, and he doesn't have the capability to tell anybody. So I just wanted to share this video, and I do have to warn you ahead of time, it is kind of graphic, so bear with me and you guys can check it out for yourself.
Just so we're crystal clear, there are two elements to this case. Number one is the physical treatment Mr. Yunus is receiving. And number two is the racial slurs that are being hurled against him and the discussion of his heritage. Again, he's Lebanese. I can't even repeat on air the words, the names that they used to refer to him in front of him and to each other. But safe to say they're as bad as the N-word. They refer to him as an Arab regularly, this United States citizen. I want to play, if I can, another moment of this hidden camera video where you can clearly hear and see this kind of abuse.
Like you, I view most elderly people as my residents, whether out in the community or any place. So I'm going to take a few minutes to collect my thoughts, and then we'll be right back.
When you have satisfied and content CNAs, the care is better, and you're going to have less nursing assistant turnover.
So many times they think they're just, in the trenches and nobody hears, nobody cares about them, and it's not true. It's simply not true. And this organization helps them gain that voice and helps them be heard.
We're awesome, and I'm going to hold my head high, and I'm going to ride this magic carpet, and I'm going to change the world. That's what NACA did for me.
For more information, visit us online at nacacna.org or call 417-623-6049. From the Heart, a weekly segment with John Willard, airs every Tuesday at 2:30 Central Time on CNA TV.
Welcome back everybody. There are two main points that I'd like to point out in this video. Number one, when we sign on to be a CNA, when we get our certification, we've completed the class, we've done our skills test, taken the written exam, we've kind of taken an oath of good ethics. We sign on as not only a caregiver but a protector for these residents. Never, ever, ever, ever is it okay to talk to a resident or to handle a resident that way. I do not care how frustrated you are, what's going on at home, what kind of a day you've had. When you hit that time clock and you slide your card or punch in your number or whatever it is that you do when you clock in at your facility, you have switched from a personal life to a professional life. You are there to care for these people, not just their ADLs, but their emotional and physical well-being as well. First of all, I can almost guarantee you from that gentleman's body structure, he was not a one assist. There should have been two people in there transferring him. Number two, I do not know why she did not have a gait belt on him. That is as much for her protection as it is for his. If you think about it, just by doing what she was doing, grabbing a hold of him, lifting him up, that's putting all of this range in danger. not just on him, but it's endangering her lower body. Her body structure was not even close to being right. The positioning of her feet, her hips, her back. You could obviously tell that she was frustrated with him. But the thing about that is, that goes with the emotional care that we give to these people on a day-to-day basis. I don't care how many times he's hit his call light. I do not care how many times you've had to reposition him or redirect him. That is your job. It's our job to be there for these residents and give them the care that they need in any way that they need it. The second thing that I would like to point out is that there was obviously other people who witnessed this abuse. There was at one point in the video, she says, "Cut that light off," and you can see somebody in the background. At another point, you can see somebody in the background as well. If you guys want to look at that video clip yourself, it is Headline News. The full version is on there. We did edit it because there was some very inappropriate language used, as the reporter said. I don't know if you guys heard that or not. There was some racial slurs being swung around, but that in itself is a whole other form of abuse. You see him there kind of secluded from any other residents with his protective adaptation, I guess you would call it. He was unable to get out of that chair on his own. It is his right to fall if he wants to fall. Just keep him in an area that you can view and report it when it happens. But it is not okay to kind of push them and forget about it, especially putting them in the dark like that and leaving them by themselves. It's not okay. The other thing that I would like to say is that so many of these cases go unreported and nothing is done about them. If I were a CNA in this position and I were the secondary person, that would have been stopped immediately, as majority of us would have done. Step in, kind of tell them, go outside, take a breather, calm down. You're welcome to come back in when you're ready, or get somebody else to help you. Obviously, she wasn't able to handle this situation and had personal frustration with this particular resident, but it also makes you wonder how many other residents this is happening with, whether it's just this one, or if there's several on her hallway, or if she's floating hallways and it's kind of spreading throughout the building. Stuff like this needs to stop, period. You see it posted in social media groups on the internet, and then hundreds and hundreds of CNAs comment on it. This is not okay. I feel so sorry for him. This shouldn't have happened. If I were there, this would have happened. But we can say that and say that and say that, but saying one thing and doing something about it are two completely different things. And like I said, we are 90% of the frontline care givers in any facility, whether it's hospital, hospice, assisted living, long-term care facility, rehab facilities, and yet we do nothing to stop this. There are the occasional few good news reports that you see of CNAs stepping up and kind of taking that action into their own hands. But you do need to follow the chain of command in your facility when it comes to reporting abuse. CMS has changed those guidelines just a little bit. It is now a 2-hour period for any kind of abuse. You no longer have the 24-hour wait period. Every type of abuse that you witness has to be reported within 2 hours in the facilities, in the long-term care facilities anyways. There is specific protocols for that. The first thing that you want to do, obviously, is interject, stop it from happening if you witness it yourself. The second thing you want to do is report it to your direct supervisor, which in most cases is your charge nurse. Make sure you have it written down somewhere, or some kind of documentation proving that it was reported, because if there's no documentation, it didn't happen. If nothing happens, at that point, go to the next person up in your chain of command, whether it's a nurse manager, director of nursing, administrator. And then it is also a federal regulation and many state regulations that the facilities have to have a report line publicized somewhere within the facility. So there's a program called Whistleblowers, which allows you to report things. If you want to do it anonymously, you can, but the kind of backlash towards that is not prohibited for a whistleblower, so they cannot reprimand you for reporting something to state. And when it comes down to it, it is all about our residents' care and our residents' safety. That is the number one thing in the hearts of CNAs. And that is the thing that we're there to do, to comfort these people, to make their life just a little bit better, not worse. And there are some bad apples in every batch. And for those professional CNAs out there, I also think it is our job to kind of separate them from the rest of us, to get them out of the system, keep our residents safe in what is their home. This is where they're paying to live. This is where they're living their life. This is where their friends and family come to see them. So it should definitely be somewhere where they feel safe and know that they're not in jeopardy, whether it be financial exploitation, physical, sexual abuse, neglect, isolation, the racial slanders, slurs, name calling. They should be treated with the utmost respect at all times by all staff. But like I said, CNAs are 90% of the frontline staff, and 9 out of 10 times we are going to be the ones that see that kind of stuff, whether it's from a coworker, a visitor, family member. It is our job to interject and keep those residents safe at all times. On that note, I am going to let you guys go, and I will see you right back here at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning for Katie in the Morning.